What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to react to this episode of Run It Back podcast when they were talking about the end of an era for the Golden State Warriors, right? And I knew that last season, once they weren't able to get it done with Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry got hurt, and Jimmy Butler, he couldn't carry the team by himself, just him and Draymond. So, once that happened last year, I thought that was their window of opportunity for them to catch a little bit of magic. I thought that, when they brought Jimmy in, I was like, oh, okay, maybe they can make a run. And that probably was the same thing that they had, right? Coming into this year, I didn't think that they was going to make it. Even if they had used the guy Kaminga, and featured him more in the offense, I still thought that they would have been a long shot. But now that everybody, they have so many injuries, and these old guys, Jimmy Butler not in, Steph Curry in and out of the lineup, like it's over with for the Golden State Warriors. Like their era is over with. Steve Kerr, in my opinion, never really, he rode it until the wheels fell off. He never really, in my opinion, was trying to to reload or develop talent, for the next generation. He was just getting what he could out of this guys, squeezing everything he could get out of them guys, and that was it. And so now you have Steph Curry, like I said, in and out. Jimmy Butler, the window is closed. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the audio from the Running Back podcast, and I like some of their take because they point out some things that maybe the Golden State Warriors could have done differently, and which I agree. So let me play what they have to say about.
Um, let's talk a little bit Warriors because some people are just like it's over, just give it up. Some people are still got hope. Saturday night against the Lakers, awful. They're 6-10 over their last 16. That we know you don't have your two best players out there. However, it's kind of sad to say like it's just done. Like nobody wants to admit that a dynastic team is done. Is that where we are? Is there any hope, Lou?
I don't know if
what was that word you just said?
Dynastic is a word.
Oh, it's 100%. Y'all really want to go down this road with me?
However,
I'm gonna stay in my lane.
You want to do word of the day? We will do word.
It looks like dynastically that it's
that's a word.
Yeah, it's just when you don't have Jimmy in the lineup, when you don't have Steph in the lineup, you go out and go get Al Horford, who's another guy that's supposed to help you out as well. When you don't have those guys in the lineup, you look around and you say who's going to carry this basketball team, and you don't see anybody that can hold the weight of the guys that are out of the lineup, especially on the offensive end. These guys are your scorers. Jimmy and Steph Curry were going to be the guys that you can close your eyes and know that you can go to get 45 to 60 points of production out of. There's been nobody on the Golden State Warriors to be able to stand in the gaps. And I think that team is so custom made. It was so custom fitted for the guys that play on that team. When they go out of that lineup, everything falls off the rails. I think that's what you're seeing in their last 16 games. And even before that, just them trying to find some type of consistency and be able to compete in the Western Conference. You just haven't been able to see it from the Golden State Warriors this year.
Dynastic.
All right, so I agree with Lou, right? Like their team, like that team, like I said, Steve Kerr just rode it till the wheels came off. He never really developed anybody else outside of those guys. And really, when you look at it, like he really just took like that team was Mark Jackson team, Steph Curry, Draymond, and Clay, and the defense and everything. Not saying that Steve Kerr is not a good coach. I like Steve Kerr, but that like if he had added on to that, like if he had to develop anybody else, Kaminga, who was the guy that Draymond hit? What's his name? I forgot his name. But if he had to develop any of those guys and been able to pass the torch on to that next generation, then you could say, oh, okay. But he just rode it until the wheels, till the wheels fell off. And now that everything is falling apart, he gonna get credit for all those, for the 4 championships. But he didn't, he didn't push the team to the next level or help develop them and set it up for the next level. And so they don't like when Steve Kerr leave and everything, you know, they go back into rebuild mode. You know, he don't really care about that.
Yes, it is a word.
Well, I used it too. So
So yeah, so we're looking at
You know,
geniuses.
so everything you're saying is so right. But you know why I have zero sympathy for them? Like, because they had that
they
guy.
had options.
They had that guy.
Let's talk
He was
about
in
it.
Atlanta.
Well, it's coming.
Like, it's
And doing
it-
fine in Atlanta, by the way.
Yeah, they're
Funny you
undefeated,
should
they're
mention
undefeated
that.
with him in Atlanta. But that's another story. But that's what's confusing to me is you know you're an aging team. You know Draymond's not necessarily the same. Steph has been in and out of the lineup. Jimmy Butler goes down for the season.
Oof.
You had this dude. I know there's obviously
Young.
that ship had sailed, and I think it ran its course, and he had to move. But like, that's where I'm a little hesitant, kind of feeling bad or sympathy for them because they literally had that guy that could fill that gap, that can go and get that 25, 30 points a night without these guys there. So now it's going to take a collective effort. Now it's going to take, toughness, defense. I don't know what matchups, whatever it is, but like,
Well, we both can agree that they knew that they were going to take their lumps and they were willing to go into the summer and kind of figure things out from there.
But it's weird to say that when you have an old team. Like, what do you figure? They're all going to be a year older.
Well, yeah,
and they're all
is
tough
older.
contracts to get up off of this summer
Get
too.
it.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but we did get another Curry Draymond video drop.
Yeah, I don't understand why like Kuminga wasn't, like I said, I don't understand why Kuminga wasn't featured more in there. But Steve Kerr has just proven that, he's not a guy who develops talent. That team was given to him and he didn't man, like I forgot that he let Draymond Green just run the other guy off the team that he punched. I forgot this guy's name. But he seemed to fit their scheme and the way they were doing things. He seemed to fit that. Kuminga, I don't know why Kuminga couldn't, I don't know, man. I just don't get it. And I like Steve Kerr, because everybody who walked into that situation probably would not end up with 4 championship rings. So I'm not trying to take anything away from Steve Kerr. Not everybody would have, been able to turn that into 4 championship rings, but he got it, and he never built for the future. He just rolled this thing until the wheels fell off. And when you have all these years, like what Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors had to reload and rebuild and develop more talent, like those next 2 guys, you only needed like 2 guys, man. Especially on the offensive end, 2 scorers and the rest role players. Just develop 2 guys out there where so you can hand them the mantle, hand them the baton, and let them do their thing. But Steve Kerr was never ever able to do that, or maybe even wasn't even interested in doing that because he was just so fixated on Steph Curry and what Steph, just seeing if Steph Curry could get him there, him and Draymond. I think even if Steph Curry and Draymond was healthy this year with Jimmy Butler, with all these young guys out here, it would have been that's a tough ask to, especially coming out of the West. You got Houston, tough defensively. You have San Antonio, which is crazy, man. That kid Wembanyama is crazy, crazy talented. Then you got Shea Gilgeous, man. It would have just been so hard for them, even if they was healthy, to come out of the West, just because of how much talent is in there. And these guys, all of these guys play bigger than what Golden State play. Golden State they play small, and so they would have got abused on, because of their size. They just really, really small. Yeah, all of those, so it would have been a tough ask for Steph Curry to carry them, to get them out of that West. I would have liked to have seen Steph Curry be healthy, but this is what happened, as you get older, man, and you stay injured, and this is what happened. And so Steve Kerr, man, didn't really set this team up for the future. He just rode it until the wheels fell off, man, and then he'll be on to something else. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he didn't even at least try with Kuminga. you know, or anybody else for that, you know, for that reason. He just really never even tried. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.